Good afternoon and welcome to the Timmins Police Service. This media conference covers off a number of points that are of interest obviously to the general public and hopefully will assist with an ongoing investigation that you are already aware of. For the sake of chronology, a burnt vehicle was reported to the Timmins Police Service during the late afternoon hours of Friday, April 20th. Officers attended the scene, located the vehicle, and readily identified human remains as being in the vehicle. This brought into play the Criminal Investigation Division of the Timmins Police Service alongside the Ontario Fire Marshal's Office, the Regional Coroner, as well as assistance from the Ontario Provincial Police. Since that time, an investigation has been moving in a very fluid fashion. Okay. And to date, the remains of the deceased persons have been brought to Toronto for the purposes of a post-mortem examination, and the vehicle itself has been brought to the Centre of Forensic Sciences for further expert examination. I will now turn the podium over to Staff Sergeant Charest for further details pertaining to the investigation. Staff.
Thanks, Mark. So further to Mark's comments, which kind of bring us up to speed to today, I'm not sure if he mentioned the clarification point, but for clarification purposes, as originally reported, there were human remains of 4 persons located at the scene, 3 of which were located within the vehicle and 1 which was located nearby. There's been some misinformation out there that there was 4 persons located within the vehicle. So we wanted to clarify that first of all today. As he mentioned, post-mortem examinations are being scheduled for later this week. We don't have an exact day or time, but those will take place hopefully in the next few days. This was previously reported with the vehicle that was involved in this incident is described as a 2004 Chrysler Intrepid, green or blue in color. At this stage in the investigation, we're seeking public assistance in identifying any information pertaining to any sightings of the vehicle up to and including Friday, April 20th, but also any sightings of the following persons. Joey Gagnon, age 37 of Timmins, Tammy Gagnon Robitaille, age 34 of Timmins, Cole Gagnon, age 16 of Timmins, and Brandy Gagnon, age 14 of Timmins. After the media conference, photographs of these 4 persons will also be included with the electronic version of the media release. We have released the scene on Price Road as of yesterday afternoon or yesterday evening. Furthermore, the investigation has made it necessary for us to conduct an investigation at a local residence here in Timmins by our forensic unit alongside the coroner's office. The Timmins Police Service continues to liaise with a local family believed to be related to this event and are committed to maintaining an appropriate balance between moving the investigation forward, the public remaining informed, and the respect for the privacy of the families. The Timmins Police Service will continue to make efforts to keep the general public informed as much as possible with recent developments as they occur over the next few days. That being said, we don't have any scheduled media conferences until the outcomes of the post-mortem examinations are revealed. So once again, we are asking for public assistance. Anyone who has any relevant information to call us at 264-705-264-1201 or to provide information anonymously by calling Crime Stoppers. Specifically, again, to reiterate, we are interested in any sightings of the vehicle in question and any sightings of the 4 persons that I named earlier.
Staff Sergeant, can you identify the 4th person who was found away from the vehicle?
We are not in a position to identify any of the 4 deceased persons right now. Certainly, the post-mortem examination will include some techniques to try and assist with that, but we are not in a position to identify anybody at this point, any of the 4 deceased persons, with any level of certainty that we require in order to do that.
The first news releases came out indicated that there were 4 persons who were believed to have been burned. I'm left with the impression from what you said that 3 persons were burned, and the 4th person, what was the condition of that body?
Yeah, you're correct. And there were three deceased persons found within the vehicle, and the vehicle had been burned along with those 3 persons. The 4th person was not in the vehicle and thus was not burned. The condition of that person beyond that, in order to protect the integrity of the investigation, I'm not prepared to release any of that.
At this point, do police suspect a murder-suicide or something like that?
Well, exactly what's happened to these 4 people in these tragic circumstances is exactly the focus of our investigation right now. And the investigation is far from complete. Of course, we need to take care of the post-mortem examinations, the full forensic examination of the vehicle, and other exhibits that were seized at the scene. So because it is an ongoing investigation and I don't have all the pieces of the puzzle per se, I'm not in a position to release anything about what our investigative theories might be at this point.
What exactly, what kind of specific information are you looking for from the public?
Basically in the time frame that's been described, so right up until the evening of the 20th, we're interested in anybody calling us that may have seen this vehicle or that may have seen these people. Whether they know these people and they want to give us a call and tell us about recent interactions with them, or whether they are not known to them but they may have run into them or recognize them from having run into them in that time frame. We certainly would want to hear about any of those interactions.
So what is the connection between the people you're looking for and the people who were burned in the car?
We, again, cannot identify the people that were burned in the car, but I can tell you that the vehicle in question that was found burned at the scene is registered to one of the 4 people that we've named here today. And that's where that link has been made on an investigative point of view, and it's the reason that we're interested in finding out more about these people. I can also say that these 4 people are currently unaccounted for and have been since we became aware of this incident.
Are you concerned for those people's safety?
I think it would be a very fair statement that we are very concerned for their safety, yes.
Can you say for certain that the 4 individuals found at the scene were related? Were they all family, a family unit?
We can't say that until we identify the 4 people, but I mean, no.
But the 4 people you've named are not the 4 people, are not the people that burned in the car?
We don't know that, and that's why we're again, people may make some reasonable inferences that the vehicle is there, that there are 4 people that were found deceased, and that there's 4 people that remain unaccounted for. But we can't confirm any of those links until the 4 deceased persons are identified.
Is there a possibility, or do police suspect that any other individual that was not at the scene is somehow involved in this?
Again, it is an ongoing investigation, so not knowing what information we will receive later today or tomorrow morning, for example, it's difficult to answer that. But as it stands now, we do believe this is an incident that is isolated to the people, to the deceased people that we found at the scene. Based on the outcome of the investigation, that could change.
So the deceased people, have you determined if they died by fire, or were they shot, or were they killed by any other means first and then set on fire? Is there anything you could tell us about that?
Cause of death is one of the things that we hope to receive from the outcome of the post-mortem examinations. Beyond that, any of the evidence at the scene that suggests what may have occurred, I'm not in a position to release that at this point in order to protect the integrity of the investigation.
And the 4th person that was standing outside the vehicle, that person was deceased as well, but was outside of the vehicle?
Yes, that's
And
correct.
we don't know how that person died?
Again, that is under investigation, and we can't speculate on the cause of death until a proper postmortem examination is conducted.
And when are you going to get those answers?
Typically, when the postmortem examinations are completed, we will receive some answers, potentially from the forensic pathologist. And we certainly hope that that's going to be the case here. Sometimes it involves further testing that could take more time, but whatever information that we do receive and that we're willing to release, we will share with you when we receive it.
Can police say what caused the fire? Was it some sort of an accelerant or a deliberate fire, or was it some sort of a mechanical failure within the car itself?
We can't say for certain at this point. The Ontario Fire Marshal's office is involved in the investigation. It is one of the partners that we are working with. That being said, we can comfortably say that the nature of the fire is suspicious. But exactly how the fire was started is part of the investigation at this point.
Are you looking for any other suspects in connection to this?
We're looking to speak to any witnesses that may have any information at all. But we do not have any suspects per se in this investigation that we're seeking. Again, because it's an ongoing investigation, we don't know what it's going to bring us tomorrow, but that's where it stands right now.
Do you think that this has anything to do with organized crime, or is this a domestic related incident?
Again, that is in relation to the ongoing investigation. I can say that we have no information at this point to suggest that it has anything to do with organized crime, but the circumstances surrounding this tragic event and why and how these things happened are exactly the focus of our investigation right now.
Do you have anything else, even just on the timeline as to how far back from Friday evening we're looking to go? Like, is it if they've seen them between Monday and Friday, or like a starting point for that? Yeah,
one of the things that we certainly are interested in achieving in these types of investigations is narrowing that timeline that they're referring to. That being said, we don't want to potentially eliminate some good witnesses that may have good information for us to move the investigation forward. We have been able to narrow our timeline somewhat in this investigation, but I would prefer to leave it at, I believe at our first media conference, basically if they've seen these people in the previous week or so, we would certainly be interested to speak to them.
And what time do you think the fire happened? Like, did fire department respond to this first, or did you all respond, and what time of day was the EMS response?
The police was notified of this incident somewhere in the area of 6 p.m. And fire didn't have to attend. There was no need for any sort of fire suppression to occur. The exact timing of when this fire would have taken place is one of the avenues that we're currently investigating. Oh,
so the fire had already, there was no need, it wasn't burning when you got there?
No.
It had happened sometime before Friday at 6 p.m. then?
Yes.
And was
Yes.
Put out?
Yes.
So you don't know how long those bodies and car had been there then?
Again, we have an idea through our investigative timeline, but we're constantly working to try and tighten that, and that's why we want to receive as much information as possible from any potential witnesses. Maybe we can explain to the public too just how remote or rural or out of the way this area is where you found the car and the bodies. I mean, it's certainly rural in nature, but it's not a really untraveled road. I mean, it is a logging road, and it's used quite frequently by residents of Timmins. I mean, you head down Dalton Road just prior to the bridge for the Outagamie River is where the turnoff for Price Road is, and that road, Price Road, runs between Dalton and Pine. So 6 kilometers from the intersection of Dalton and Price is where this would have occurred. So of course it is remote, but it's a well-traveled road. I am sure that it gets used on a daily basis.
And was the car then, was it found on the road and that's how somebody stumbled on it? Was it on a property? Like how?
It was found in an area adjacent to the road, so it wasn't on the roadway, but it was near the roadway. And how did you find out about this? Some people were out for a drive and noticed the burnt vehicle and gave us a call, and we attended.
And you didn't know what you were responding to at that time?
No, the information we had was that there was a burnt vehicle, and we were responding to go investigate it.
Is there anything else you need to add?
No, I think that covers everything.
I'll just check with Nicole. Nicole?
Yeah, I do have one question. It's fairly unusual to release the names of 4 people, particularly 2 children, and not say that they are the victims, not say how they're connected to the case. Why did you decide to take that step?
We feel that it's a significant investigative advantage for us to find out anything and everything that we can about the whereabouts and ongoings of these 4 people in the days leading up to us being made aware of this vehicle. Again, these people are unaccounted for, and people will certainly make some inferences here. But we cannot identify anybody as being the deceased persons until they are identified forensically through proper means by the coroner's office.
Was there anything to indicate within the extended family that there might have been a problem or depression or some unusual situation that occurred in the family that might have spurred someone to take dramatic action?
That is certainly an investigative path that we're taking. We're speaking to all of the family and friends that we become aware of to try and ascertain what may have led to this, if indeed these are the 4 people. But I'm not at liberty to release any of that information at this time.
Someone report those people missing that you've released?
They were never reported missing. Through our investigation, again, with the vehicle being registered to one of these people, our investigation led us down that path. But no, they were never reported missing.
J'ai plusieurs questions, mais peut-être que ce serait préférable.
D'accord. Nicole, I'll check with you one last time.
Are you, I guess, trying to figure out how to phrase this, like, what sort of link can we make between these 4 missing people and this case? Like, you're releasing their names and you're saying they're reported missing and you're saying 4 people are dead, but how do we, how do you characterize that?
Again, the reason that we're releasing the names is to move our investigation forward. I think you're asking me something that I just can't answer. I've already explained that we cannot identify who the deceased persons are until we've confirmed it forensically. But again, we are very interested to hear about anything that anybody may have to say in relation to these 4 people, because we do believe there is a link to this family. There's no doubt about it. The vehicle's registered, and that's where the investigation has taken us. But we're trying to fill in those gaps exactly so that we can have a better understanding of what's occurred here in these tragic events.
At this point, I'd like to turn it over to the French correspondent from CBC.
Donc, ça va se répéter un peu.
Ouais.
Juste, parlez-moi de qui sont ces personnes que vous recherchez.
À travers notre enquête au sujet de cet incident, on cherche à identifier des gens qui auraient peut-être vu ou qui seraient au courant de où ces personnes-là étaient dans les jours précédant l'incident. Les 4 personnes sont Joey Gagnon, âgé de 37 ans de Timmins, Tammy Gagnon, Robitaille, âgé de 34 ans de Timmins, Cole Gagnon, âgé de 16 ans de Timmins, ainsi que Brandy Gagnon, âgé de 14 ans de Timmins. Avec le communiqué de presse qui va suivre électroniquement, on va aussi donner les photos des 4 personnes. Puis justement, Ces 4 personnes-là, ils n'ont pas été vues depuis que l'incident nous a été rapporté. On a pu identifier les personnes décédées jusqu'au point où ce que ça soit fait de façon concrète à travers les autopsies. Mais on est intéressé à parler à n'importe quel témoin qui aurait vu ces gens-là dans les jours qui précédaient l'incident.
Quel est le lien qui lie ces gens-là à l'enquête?
L'automobile qui a été retrouvée à la scène est liée à une des personnes qu'on a mentionnées.
Est-ce que c'est votre suspicion que ces gens sont les 4 cadavres retrouvés dans la voiture?
Encore une fois, je pense que certaines personnes vont faire certaines inférences, et c'est des inférences normales, mais on ne peut pas identifier les personnes décédées. C'est sûr qu'il y a un lien. L'automobile est là, il est lié à une des personnes. Il y a 4 personnes qui n'ont pas été vues depuis cette date, et il y a 4 personnes qui sont décédées. On veut parler à n'importe qui a de l'information à propos de ces 4 personnes-là.
Est-ce que vous avez une notion de quand est-ce que cet incident aurait pu survenir avant vendredi?
L'incident nous a été rapporté vendredi soir vers 18h. On a été capable de rapetisser notre ligne d'importance, mais on ne veut pas éliminer des témoins potentiels en donnant un temps trop rétréci. Alors, comme on a mentionné à un des communiqués de presse dans la semaine qui a passé, généralement, si quelqu'un aurait vu ces gens-là dans la semaine qui précédait, on serait intéressé à leur parler. Que ce soit des amis ou de la famille qui ont de l'information, ou que ce soit quelqu'un qui ne les connaissait pas, mais qui peut-être qu'ils ont vu à quelque part, on voudrait parler à ces gens-là.
Donc, ces 4 personnes sont officiellement portées disparues?
Ils n'ont jamais été officiellement portés disparus, sauf qu'à cause du lien du véhicule, notre enquête nous a amené à une résidence où on a fait une enquête, et ensuite on a continué l'enquête en parlant avec d'autres membres de la famille, et c'est à ce point-là que tout le monde a réalisé que ces gens-là n'ont pas été vus depuis le vendredi que ça a été rapporté.
Est-ce qu'il y a quelque chose par rapport au corps eux-mêmes qui vous permettent de supposer si un ou 2 d'entre eux étaient des enfants ou des adolescents?
Ça fait partie de l'enquête qui va se dérouler à Toronto plus tard cette semaine. Ils vont faire une enquête au complet sur l'auto, ainsi que sur les personnes décédées dans l'auto. Mais j'ai aucune information qui pourrait nous aider dans ce sens-là.
Et pour quand sont attendus les résultats des enquêtes?
Les enquêtes à Toronto vont se dérouler plus tard cette semaine. On n'a pas eu de confirmation quelle journée exactement. On s'attend que ça soit dans les jours qui suivent. Le montant de temps que ça va prendre, je ne suis pas certain, ça pourrait prendre quelques jours. Et les résultats, ça dépend. Parfois, on est capable d'avoir certaines réponses tout de suite après que c'est fini, mais souvent, il y a d'autres démarches qu'il faut qu'ils soient faites afin d'avoir plus de réponses.
À part l'appel aux témoins que vous faites aujourd'hui et l'attente des résultats des analyses, quelle autre étape, quelles sont les prochaines étapes de l'enquête?
C'est une enquête qui est très fluide puis qui continue. Écoute, avec l'appel d'assistance ici, l'information qui va nous venir va nous laisser continuer avec l'enquête. C'est sûr qu'il va y avoir d'autres témoins à qui on va vouloir parler. Il y a certains items qui ont été saisis qu'il faut envoyer pour des tests et des analyses. Alors, c'est une enquête quand même assez complexe qui pourrait durer assez longtemps.
Est-ce que vous êtes en mesure de dire si cet incident a un lien avec le crime organisé?
Sans savoir qu'est-ce que l'enquête va nous amener plus tard aujourd'hui ou demain, à ce point-ci, je peux dire qu'on n'a aucune raison de croire qu'il y a un lien au crime organisé.
Est-ce que vous privilégiez la thèse du meurtre-suicide?
qu'est-ce qui s'est passé exactement ici, c'est justement c'est ça qui est notre enquête. Puis, afin de protéger l'intégrité de l'enquête, je ne peux pas répondre à cette question-là. C'est bon?
So could we just, I know that we touched a little bit on family relations and stuff, but could we confirm just even like the 4 people, are they like is it a mother and father and their 2 kids, or like what are their...
Yeah, I'm comfortable in confirming for you that it is a family. It's a father, a mother, and 2 kids, yes.
Nicole, you're good?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to hang
Thank
up
you
on
so
you.
much.
Okay, don't read into this. I'm hanging up on you.
Okay.
Very good.